Could ICP actually climb to over $1,000 per coin? I know that sounds absolutely insane from today's price, but the math backing that idea might just surprise you. We're going to do a full forensic analysis, not just on a hypothetical number, but on the fundamental technology and market dynamics that could theoretically make it possible. This is about understanding the scale of ambition behind internet computers. Welcome to ICP Crypto Insights. If you're new here, we specialize in deep, nuanced analysis of the internet computer ecosystem, separating the hype from the tangible progress. Before we dive into these enormous potential numbers, smash that like button right now. It supports the channel at zero cost and lets me know you're ready for this comprehensive deep dive. Consider it your free ticket to the most detailed breakdown of ICP's potential you'll find. This video is created for educational and informational purposes only. It does not promote or endorse any financial product, investment, or cryptocurrency. All information presented here is based on publicly available sources and independent analysis. Viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research before making any financial or technological decisions. So, where does this wild $1,250 figure even come from? It's not just a random guess pulled from thin air. It's rooted in a simple yet provocative market cap comparison that's been circulating in crypto circles. This comparison acts as a mental model, a framework to understand the sheer scale of what would be required for ICP to sit at the very top of the crypto hierarchy alongside giants like Ethereum. The thought experiment starts on social media, where discussions often push the boundaries of possibility. A prominent analyst recently posed a compelling question. Why could an internet computer eventually reach a four-figure valuation? The logic follows a classic crypto valuation exercise. If ICP simply matched Ethereum's current total market value, each token would be worth several $100s. That's intriguing enough. But the real mind-bender comes when you look at historical peaks. If ICP were to catch Ethereum at its all-time high market cap from the previous cycle, that's precisely where the four-digit target, around $1,250, appears on the calculator. Now let's ground this exhilarating thought experiment in cold, hard reality. Ethereum's valuation sits comfortably in the hundreds of billions, a staggering figure representing immense network effect, developer loyalty, and widespread institutional adoption. For ICP, currently holding a multi-billion-dollar cap, to even approach that level requires a monumental generational rally. We're talking about a multiplication of its value by several dozen times. It would demand not just incremental growth, but a complete paradigm shift in how the broader market perceives and utilizes blockchain technology. Is such a leap even feasible within the confines of the coming cycle? Let's meticulously break down what would need to happen, examining both the tailwinds and the massive headwinds. First, we must confront and acknowledge ICP's brutal, unforgiving history with clear eyes. Its launch was, frankly, a traumatic disaster for many early buyers filled with sky-high expectations. The price collapsed from its initial lofty numbers down to shocking single digits in a painfully short amount of time, erasing billions in perceived value. It wasn't just normal crypto volatility. It involved complex manipulation and pressure from certain now-failed entities, which utterly shattered market confidence and left a long-lasting stigma on the project's reputation. This historical baggage is not a minor footnote. It's a central character in the ICP story. But here's the critical reframe. That painful past is actively creating the asymmetric opportunity of today. The extreme compression in price has, in theory, cleared out reckless speculation and set a potentially firmer foundation. The project's current valuation is a mere fraction of its initial hype-fueled peak. This simple fact means the runway for growth, purely from a mathematical perspective, is enormous. If you genuinely believe in the underlying technology's long-term potential, accumulating after such a catastrophic drawdown presents a radically different risk profile than buying at the top amid a frenzy. The margin for error is different. But let's be unequivocal. The real question for investors isn't about obsessing over the past. It's about rigorously auditing what ICP is building right now, in the present, and whether that buildup justifies future re-rating. This crucial pivot brings us to the core technological edge that proponents argue separates ICP from the crowd, the vision of a trustless multi-chain universe. Unlike other blockchain networks that rely on vulnerable, often hacked bridges to communicate, essentially creating IOUs of assets, ICP utilizes advanced chain key cryptography. This isn't just a minor upgrade, it's a fundamental architectural difference. This cryptography allows its smart contracts, called canisters, to interact directly, securely, and autonomously with major networks like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Imagine a canister on ICP that can hold, send, and receive actual Bitcoin, not a wrapped version, by directly creating signed Bitcoin network transactions. This blurs the line between separate blockchains. Imagine a blockchain that doesn't just passively hold assets, but natively operates them across different ledgers as if they were its own. This capability is profoundly different from the wrapped, risky copy model that has led to billions in losses from bridge hacks. It's about representing the real asset with its full security properties working seamlessly within the Internet computer environment. This foundational capability for true on-chain interoperability is a potential game changer for developers aiming to build complex, multi-chain applications that are currently impossible or perilously insecure. Think of decentralized exchanges that don't custody your assets on a vulnerable bridge, or lending protocols that can use native Bitcoin as collateral without third-party risk. This foundational tech is why the long-term investment thesis extends far beyond simple price predictions and into the realm of fundamental utility creation. So, with this technological context, let's return to the dizzying numbers. Is a $1,250 ICP price tag probable in the next bull run? My honest, unvarnished assessment is probably not. That's an insanely high hurdle that would require ICP not just to succeed, but to completely dominate and eclipse the current ecosystem at a pace never before seen in crypto. However, let's analyze a more immediate benchmark, reaching Ethereum's current market cap, which would put ICP in the mid-hundreds per token. That, while still a colossal challenge, resides within the realm of possibility for a top-tier project experiencing a perfect storm of adoption, narrative, and market euphoria in a massive bull market. It's the difference between a moonshot and a stratospheric shot to another galaxy. Therefore, mapping a more realistic trajectory, I see a credible path for ICP to achieve a valuation in the tens of billions. That could still translate to a price significantly higher than today. Think a 10x to 25x move from current levels, which is nothing to scoff at. That range represents a genuinely life-changing return for many portfolios, and it doesn't require hitting those mythical $1,000 targets that border on science fiction. This is exactly where disciplined, strategic investing comes into play. My philosophy centers on identifying high-potential reward while consciously managing risk, not operating on hope and prayers. It's about calculating probabilities, not dreaming of possibilities. Personally, ICP constitutes a major, non-trivial holding within my own diversified crypto portfolio. My approach was to accumulate systematically during the deep lows of the bear market, patiently building a position with what I believe is a strong, defensive cost basis. My strategy isn't to frantically chase the peak, but to hold strategically through the cycle's growth phase, assessing fundamental milestones along the way. Will I take profits? Absolutely, and without sentimentality, when the technical and fundamental indicators suggest the time is right. But the core of my investment conviction is tethered not to hype, but to the protocol's expanding fundamental utility and its unique technological propositions. The launch price was a speculative illusion, but the technology being built and demonstrated now is very, very real. This distinction is paramount. Remember, even a sustained move to a consistent triple-digit figure represents a massive recovery and profit opportunity for those who entered at the low prices of the last 2 years. It has the power to turn what were once tragic entries into powerful generational gains. The key for investors is to mentally and analytically separate the manipulated, chaotic past from the innovative, building present. The project today is not the project of 2021. So, after all this, what's the final verdict on ICP's potential ceiling in a realistic timeframe? In my view, achieving new all-time highs that surpass the initial launch frenzy is likely a multi-cycle story, requiring years of sustained execution and adoption. But achieving new cycle highs, decisively breaking past the post-crash resistance, and establishing a new higher range? That's the real, actionable target for the upcoming bull market. The ongoing integration with major blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the proven, flawless network uptime under increasing load, and the quietly expanding developer activity building genuine applications all combine to fuel a legitimate bullish case. These are not promises, these are observable facts on the chain. If you're already holding, it's essential to understand the full scope of the opportunity and the magnitude of the challenges. Manage your expectations, have a clear exit plan, and base your decisions on protocol progress, not just price movement. If you're not yet invested, consider this your signal to begin researching deeply and independently. The Internet computer isn't trying to be just another smart contract platform in a sea of clones. It's ambitiously aiming to be the seamless integration layer that connects all of them, a foundational piece of a future blockchain Internet. That vision, however long-term, if even partially realized, justifies a valuation far beyond today's levels and could command a premium for its uniqueness. If you find this deep dive into the future of decentralized technology valuable, support this channel. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.